Hi everyone. Let's continue our journey through planning process. And for now, I would like to start the topic of our tools and accesses. And in this video, we're going to cover the security structure and architectural structure of our tools. And we will also talk about IBP Web User Interface and access details. So let's begin. I already showed this diagram in the previous video for planning overview. So here you can see the main modules of planning process, which are SAP S/4HANA, where most of master data is initially maintained. Then we have IBP Integrated Business Planning, a cloud-based SAP solution used specifically for planning process. Um, Also, we have SAP BW with all types of reporting, leaf costing tool, which is also a reporting tool, portfolio cockpit, where we maintain all our products, and so on. Also, it is connected with SKU DM module, and so on. And finally, we have the analytics module related to Power BI, SAP Analytics Cloud, and we're not going deeply through that. So to start with, I would like to um, talk about IBP security review, security overview. So in IBP, we have the submodules or so-called templates. Some of them are for demand planning operations, some of them for supply planning. Also, so the access is regulated to this templates. So some users can, like demand planners, have access to demand templates, and ABP supply planners have access to supply templates accordingly, and so on. Then we also have a separate tool, CPIDS, and only several IT members have access to this tool, as I mentioned before. And we have SAP P40 system, embedded PPDS, which and the access to this system is managed in a standard way by security roles inside the SAP. So generally, we can say that business users will access, or can access, better to say, IBP, PPDS, then PLN BW reports, including leaf reports and portfolio cockpit. And only IT users are able to access CPIDS and IAS. IAS is also a middleware system for IBP specifically. It is where a security team initially creates users, creates profile data, and then when users are created in IAS, they are transferred to IBP with corresponding roles. So here on this slide, you can see the links to the environments. So 3 links. There are for IBP system, as usual, for development, environment, QA, and production. So of course, business users mostly use production. From time to time, they can use QA module for testing purposes. And the development module is mostly used by BTS members and developers. So all you know how to enter SAP P40 and the how to check SAP roles of user in the system. Is it P40 or BWP, for example? And here is also the link for Portfolio Cockpit. I will show it right now just briefly because we have access actually. Sorry. Guess it's connected. So I will just, yeah. I will just show you Portfolio Cockpit because we have access to it. Actually, that's how it looks like. So you can check how the interface looks like. But apart from general access to the platform, we don't have any particular access to markets. So we can't actually do anything here. Just look at the interface, but we are not able to see any market, to see any products assigned to any particular market because we are not business users and the access was not provided to us, and that's okay. So that's how Portfolio Cockpit looks. And yes, for CPIDS, we can check, for example, the link for QA and production, but you will see that there is no access actually. So yeah, I can just show you that there is no access. So if in any of the incidents, you will be asked to check some jobs running in CPIDS, you can transfer such incident to BTS team right away because there are no roles for GSD in CPIDS. And yeah, so we can try to log on, but actually we don't have access. So as you can see, then going further. Yes, so steps below are for business users when they're first trying to access IBP Web User Interface. So the access is actually provided through service request form or RITM, RITM. You all know this type of access, so let me show it to you. We have a KB, IBP access, get access to SAP IBP. Here we can also see all three links for three environments, and there is a link to create a service request in ITSP portal. So if, for example, I am a new business user, let's say demand planner, and I need access to IBP, what I need to do is go to this service request. Here is how it looks like. I need to click grant access if I don't have one yet, permanent role, or maybe I need temporary role. Then I need to select my location, for example, Australia. And I need to select one of the available roles for this location. So the drop-down list of roles, which I will see here, will depend on location selected in the previous field. So you can see for Australia, we have only two roles. We can see they are market specific because they contain AU, which stands for Australia. And both of these roles are for finance cycle. So only financial roles. One is for display access and one is for editing access. So let's try to choose another country. For example, let's choose Canada. Here we can see there are much more roles. For IBP access, we also see finance role for Canada, global supply chain finance specific role, a global one. Then leaf role, demand planning, finance planning, rough cut capacity planning, supply planning, and so on. So quite a lot of roles are available for Canada, which means that this market has many types of planner users. We can just, as an example, check, let's say Germany. And we also have quite a lot of roles: finance, leave, demand, supply, rough cut capacity, all kinds of them. So when you select the role, you also need to choose the environment. Of course, business users, like 99%, they choose production. That's quite obvious. And you also need to provide business reason for access. For example, you are a new user working on a monthly planning cycle. Sounds enough for an access. And after you submit, so after a business user submits this kind of service request, it goes for approval for security team. And also it goes for approval to business application owner, who is currently Olga Kocharga. I guess she also has some delegates or like backup approvers, but right now I am not sure. Anyway, when the service request is approved, business user will receive the email with such content that the account was created, the access was provided, and there will be a link to activate an account. So they click this link, activate their account by entering their email, as far as I remember. So they do it only once. And like when they are able to log on to the system once, every other time there is a single sign-on, so they don't have to enter credentials every time. So once they activated their account, they need to go to this link. It is for production, and maybe first time they will be asked to enter their email and password, and they should be able to log in to the system. So let me show it to you how this works for me, as I entered IBP a lot of times. So you can see I was authenticated automatically with single sign-on, and I don't have really to type anything, neither my password nor login, anything. Um, I'm just I'm just going straight to the landing page of the system. So that's how it looks like, pretty much similar to Fiori application, all this tile structure, the tabs in the top, tiles, and so on. But we will return to it later. Let's get back to our presentation. So yes, that's how it looks like. And here is the link to the KB I just showed you on how to request access. Yeah, so basically when security team approve the request for IBP access, they create employee record in IIS. And from IIS, as a middleware system, profile records are uploaded to IBP as business users. And you can see how personal data usually looks in IBP. So there are pretty standard fields like last name, first name, person ID, email, username, validity dates, maybe some regional settings like time zone, language, and that's it. So not a lot of data actually at this point when users are created, but of course we also have roles. So this is the concise diagram of security structure. Um, I just would like to mention that initially this diagram was bigger, but I have just erased parts which were not actually implemented in GTA. So what we are left with is a pretty simple structure. We have a user profile, we have a role, which is assigned to user directly. So when you submit access request, you choose, for example, like demand planner role, and it is assigned directly to your profile. And also we have such security attribute as permission filter. So that is probably the only tricky thing in IBP access. So permission filter, they usually regulate some location-based access, like market-specific or plant-specific access. And the tricky part is that permission filters can be assigned to users directly, or they can also be assigned to the role. So in general, permission filter is embedded into role. So user has permission filter through the role, but it can be also assigned directly bypassing the role. And I will show it just a little bit later how to check it in the system. So I'm going to look through several next slides in a real quick way. What do we have for IBP roles? So as I said, we have demand planning roles. So ZZ is allocation code. So depending on the market, there will be letters for location. For example, Denmark, DK. I'm sorry. Germany is for DE. Denmark is for DK. EG is for Egypt, and so on. So every role has its own parameters. I will show it later in the system because on this screenshot, it is not really representative for you to understand, I believe. So we have demand planning roles, supply planning roles based on the same principle, rough cut capacity roles. So what is actually a rough cut capacity? You'll probably encounter this term several times through the training. So rough cut capacity planning is actually part of IBP planning. It is related to supply module in general. And what do these planners do? They maintain master data for capacities and resources in IBP. So in order um, to break down and distribute the demands correctly in IBP, we need to know our capacities. For example, according to demand, we need to produce like 5,000 cases of cigarettes during next month. But according to our capacity, we are only able to produce 3,000. So 3,000 will be produced next month. And for example, 2,000 which are left could be produced the following month. So capacity is extremely important. And to maintain it in IBP, rough cut capacity planners need specific access. It is also derived by factory, country, or location. Also, we have a global role for Geneva Global Planning Team. You can see here X0 means that the role is global, so it doesn't depend on the market. Yes, so yeah, you can see to support all entities and factories, global planning have access to all the key figures, operator types, and templates, plus additional access. So they are the most powerful users, most powerful end user role in IBP. And I just wanted to add that these 40 people, global planning users, are often the incident creators, and you will often receive incidents from them. And to be honest, usually when you receive incident from one of global planning team members, it means that most probably it will go straight to BTS PLN, because these guys, they know a lot more than GSD knows usually. So they have a great communication, they have great understanding of business process. So usually we are not able to assist them, but it doesn't mean we can't try, yes, before escalating. Also, we have leaf roles. I don't want to stop here for long. There are a lot of leaf roles. As you can see, some of them are global, but most of them are market related. Also, for leaf planning module, there is team, global team, which is similar to Geneva Global Planning. It is Leaf Tactical Supply Team, which is located in Trier and Warsaw. So moving forward, also Leaf roles. And finally, some other global roles like basis roles for like DCO members to check the server availability and so on. Also, we have BTS non-production roles for quality development. We have BTS production role, GSD display role, and security, of course. Also, some financial roles and GBS display access. So here it was a brief overview of IBP roles. I believe you don't have to learn by heart every role existing in IBP. It just depends on the incident ticket, and every time you will need to check the role in the system from scratch. So no need to learn it actually by heart. And moving to security parameters, in IBP, we have business catalogs. You will see them in the system as a list. And actually, every line in that list is a tile that user will eventually see in the on the landing page. So finally, let me enter the system and show it to you. So for example, this is how my landing page looks like. So I can only see those tiles to which I have access to. So let me check my role. In order to check the role, we need to go to the tile maintain business users. So here it is. Actually, you should not be scared by the amount of tiles, because as GSD first level support, we only need this one, maintain business users, maybe maintain business roles to check the roles, and also manage permission filters. So that's all. I guess I tried to use several other tiles just because I was curious, but there is no practical need to do this for the incident tickets. Only those 3 tiles are useful for us. So we go to this maintain business user tile. And we need to find user. We can see the list in the alphabetical order. So let's try to find me in the system. Okay, so here I am. We just click on the profile line. So what we can see my name, last name, person ID, all this information I just mentioned on previous slide, and we can see the role which I have, and this is of course GSD display role. So I can click on this role. So it's called IBP Global Service Desk Production. I can just click on it. And here in the role menu, you can also see who changed it last time. So it was Mark Stanley right before the go live a year ago. Actually exactly a year ago. Wow, that's a funny coincidence. So Mark Stanley from security team, who was managing the project from security perspective, he changed this role, assigned it to me. And we can see the business catalogs, 31 lines. So these are the tiles which I can access, actually. But even that is not so important. There are only tiles. Usually users are not complaining on missing some tile in IBP. Usually they complain because they cannot edit some data for their markets. So let's move back to the presentation. Yes. So within a role, certain values can be restricted in the restriction area. The restrictions in the role are based on the catalogs in the role. Restrictions in a role can be viewed in IBP, which shows all possible restrictions. Here in the role on the top right corner, you can choose display restrictions. And when you access this menu display restrictions, you can see, just a moment, yeah. You can see 2 main tabs. First one, write read, is for editing access, and the second one, read and help, is for read access. So as you can see, GSD global role does not provide me with any editing access at all. So this tab is completely empty. But I can click the read-only access tab, and I can see that there are a lot of fields maintained. So looks quite confusing, but let me explain what is really useful in this menu. So we have a lot of lines, but the first really useful one is permission filter ID. So as I said, permission filters are incorporated into roles in IBP. And here is the name of permission filter which is incorporated into my role. Unfortunately, I cannot just click on it to view all the parameters. So I will need to open one more IBP tab, one more IBP window, and go to another tile, manage permission filters, like this. And then I just need to paste the permission filter name to this field. And here it is. So here I can check security parameters maintained specifically for this permission filter, global PRD display. And in this case, there are not so many of them. We can only check that GSD have display access for all locations except PLP4. So you can see the access is maintained by two ranges. So one range is from some like first location in the alphabet order till PLP2 something location. Then the next range starts from PLW1 till the last one maintained. So why don't we like just type all or unrestricted or do it within one range? Why do we need two ranges? So the answer is pretty simple, because we need to exclude one specific location, PLP4, which is, as you might know, a secret location, European flavor house, and only like only few of business users have access to it. Also, regarding the market access, GSD have access to all the markets. You can see there is one range, and material type ID should not be empty. So that's all the information maintained for GSD permission filters. Then moving back to role menu, to restrictions. Apart from permission filter ID, what is really important here, so if you see not maintained or unrestricted, that usually means that like all the access is like all the values are available or none of the values are available. And here you can see we have access to planning areas, key figures. I will explain a little bit later what it is. To playing areas again, to yes, sub networks, and yes, finally templates. So what is the most important here in this restriction page, apart from permission filter, it is template access. So access to IBP is managed through different templates. And for GSD, it is unrestricted, which means that we can see all of them. But let's find a business user, a real business user who probably has some restricted access. So going back to the main menu, maintain business users. And let's, for example, choose someone like Yeremenko Ekaterina, for example. Why not? I don't remember from which department is she. So she is a supply planner from Kazakhstan. And apparently she has a corresponding supply planner role. So let's go to this role. Then again, in the top right corner, display restrictions. And here you can see um, that unlike with GSD global role, this business role provides some editing access because this tab is not empty. So we have both tabs for display only access and for editing access. And here again, we can see permission filter ID, which is embedded in her role. Let's check it through the same way we just did it for GSD. Yes. Okay, so in this case, you can see that we have locations, and we can see that Ekaterina also has access to all locations. Okay, so my internet was down for a second. I managed to reconnect, and I just hope that record it one more time again. Okay, so um, I'm sharing my screen again. Uh, as I just said, we can see that locations are not restricted for Ekaterina. She can access all locations except PLP4. Then we can see that she has access to only 5 markets or company codes or entities as you wish. And also she has specified access to key figures. So this means that permission filter, which is embedded to her role, provides her with access to those key figures. So a couple of words, what is actually a key figure? So this term is very often encountered in PLN process, in the incidents as well. So in my own words, I can describe key figure as value indicator, which is important for production or the planning process in general. So for example, we are checking some product on some specific market, and we need to know how much stock is left for some location. So the stock level is also a key figure. It is also changing through time. So for every month, the key figure value is different. I will show it to you later, but so for example, we have exchange rate. So exchange rate, it is calculated for every month or for every work week, and it is a value uh, value-based indicator, which is really important for us. Also, we have block stock. So if we are checking some possibility of I don't know, like possibility of selling the finished goods to our customer, we need to know uh, how much of the stock we have in the blocked state. So it can be blocked for various reasons, but we definitely need to have this information on hand to plan our selling activities. Locked stock, unrestricted stock, inspection lots, standard unit cost. So you can see there are lots and lots of key figures, and 84 is the number of key figures Ekaterina has access to. Okay, so what else we can check in this case, apart from permission filter, is that user has access to templates, but we probably need to go to read only tab. Yes, and here you can see when we go down to the template section, we can see the list of templates to which user has access to. So we click on this pencil icon, and you can see 1, 2, 3. You can see that this user has access to 10 various templates. So they are mostly related to, well, yeah, they are mostly related to supply, because she is a supply planner, which is obvious. But for example, if you receive an incident ticket from this user, and she will ask why doesn't she has access to template number 23, you can check her role, go to restrictions, and you will see that her role does not include this template. So you can ask for model user. You can ask if she had access to this template previously. Also a business reason. Why does she need access to this template? And if there is no model user, for example, or even if there is one, you can escalate such incident to security team with a valid business reason and ask them to assign a missing template to user's profile. So that's how it works. Finally, what I can show you, what I want to show you is a permission filter which can be assigned to user directly. So if we go to permission filter, but we are not using the name of permission filter itself, but we will use the name of user. So let's get back. The thing is that only one permission filter can be assigned to a role, but the number of permission filters assigned to user directly is not restricted. So it can be one filter or two filters or three or five. So it's quite a rare case, but it is possible technically. So if we're checking permission filters assigned to Ekaterina directly, we can actually see that she has only one permission filter, the one we just checked, which was assigned to her role. And this is, well, that's actually quite good. That means that we don't need to check all of the permission filters. We can check only one, but I'm not sure if I will be able to find the user right now. We need to look for some demand planners. Let me check. Maybe we are lucky and we'll find some demand planner. Oh, yeah. So for example, we have Vincent from Benelux. who is a demand planner, and he also has a financial role for financial access in IBP. So let's check these roles real quick. Display restrictions. And you can see that permission filter assigned to role is called demand PRD Benelux. Okay, we will keep that in mind. Then we go back. And now let's check his financial role. Display restrictions. So previous one was called Demand PRD Benelux, and this one is called FP&A, which means Financial Planning and Analysis, PRD Benelux. So for his two roles, he has these two permission filters. And now we will check him directly to find out if he has more permission filters assigned directly. And bingo. So you can see that there are two filters we checked just now, Demand PRD Benelux and FP&A PRD Benelux, but there are also two permission filters for Netherlands. So he is, so this user actually belongs to Benelux market, but he also has some Netherlands permission filters assigned directly. Let's check Benelux PRD filter, and then we will compare the access in it to demand PRD open filter to see what's the difference. Sorry. Again, similar situation regarding location access. Only PLP4 location is restricted. Then user has access to 3 markets, probably Benelux ones. And he has edit type of access to 17 key figures. Okay, then let's go back and check the open filter, which was assigned directly. So here we can see that the access, this permission filter provides access to only one market, 1151. Not sure for which country it stands for, but it can be checked through OX18, as you might know. And only 9 key figures are contained in this access, but those are probably another key figures, not which do not present in the previous permission filter. So what I am trying, well, so what's my point here is that those permission filters are for various types of access. So they are not repeating each other. They were created on purpose to provide an additional access. And also the important thing that permission filters with open ending mean that those are assigned manually and removed manually from user, depending on the time period in the planning cycle. So I will talk about planning cycle a little bit later, but just from security perspective, you should know that user might miss some access, and he will create the incident ticket for it. And he will claim that, for example, he or she had this access a week ago, but as for now, they lost it. So they don't have this access anymore. So you should probably ask for a model user in this case. Usually they can name some of their colleagues who has this access currently. And then you will check the roles of customer and model user, and you will find out that they have exactly the same roles. So you will be confused, like they have same roles, why the access is different, why there is no access to a specific key figure. But usually if you will check permission filters assigned to users directly, you will see that model user has this open permission filter assigned, and customer will probably not have this permission filter, so it will be already removed. So sometimes global planning team, which is responsible for manual assignment of those permission filters, from time to time they make mistakes and remove those permission filters too early, or well, yeah, mostly that's it. They just remove it too early, or maybe do not assign them to some users at all. So in this case, you will need to provide investigation and assign the incident to security team, asking to assign this open permission filter manually to user with some business reason. So that's quite usual type of incidents, real incidents in PLN. Moving back to the presentation. So we already covered these points. Yes, so we talked about permission filters. Yes, the important mark that they're usually linked to roles, but sometimes can be linked to users or user groups directly. But user groups are not used in GTI, so I will delete this information, I guess. And so that's all about the security and access to IBP, and specifically to IBP Web User Interface. Just my last note that business users almost never use Web User Interface. So we, as GSD members, use it to check the access and security parameters. But users from their side mostly use Excel add-in, which we will discuss in the following video. And they work in Excel add-in, and therefore the authorization issues they might encounter also most of the time occur in Excel add-in, not in the web user interface. But we still need to know how to work with it, how it looks like, because we need to work with it in the first place. Finally, what I guess I forgot to show you is the profile. So here you can see your recent activities, view some information, then you can sign out and sign in with another profile, for example. And in the settings, you can see your email, the link, change some theme. So this is a default one, language settings. And finally, you can set some user preferences. So for GSD, you can set a default planning area. But for some business users, there can be more options. Like you remember in Fiori, we have also user settings, and there is such section as user parameters, where people can set like plants or entities or cost centers, for example, and they will only see information for those parameters which they chosen in their settings. But again, business users almost never use web user interface, so that's just for your interest. Well, that's all for now, and see you in the next video.